would you grab? Would you wanna trade? Would you take on what you had? Would you hate your cards and even fold your hand? Or open up your heart, grateful for what you have? Everyone's got their problems. Let's focus on the good, we can solve them. Whether it's hot or raining, let's stop complaining. We got some living to do.
Wow, my heart is beating so fast right now. It's been a couple of weeks since I have filmed videos. That's how long it's been. Oh gosh. How's it going? It's Alyse here, and today I am going to reflect on my entire 2018 year with you. This has been by far the hardest year of my entire life. I want to go through the highs, the lows, the goods, the bad, the accomplishments, the struggles, and a lot of themes that I had throughout my 2018 year, and also share some gratitudes of mine that were very consistent throughout the past year, and also share with you how I intend to find closure with all of the things that happened that were very hard in this past year, and what I intend to bring into 2019 with me, and what I for sure am going to leave in 2018. So starting in the very beginning of 2018, about midway through January, I joined a very high-level mastermind group. For those of you who don't know, a mastermind is a group of people who essentially check in with each other, empower each other. So the mastermind that I joined was called the Greatness Mastermind, which was facilitated by Lewis House, and it was such a game changer in relation to my business. It really helped me create a much stronger foundation in so many ways, which I won't go into in this video, but it was a remarkable experience, and it was so powerful for networking with other like-minded individuals, people who are so much farther along in their business, who have years and years of experience of trial and errors and have made so many mistakes and learned from them, and it added so much value to my life, especially in the business sense. And I've also made so many incredible friends by being a part of that group throughout the entire year. That was the first thing that I noted. I made a little list just so it's easier to remember. The next thing that I noted was that I moved from Hawaii, the big island of Hawaii, to Colorado. Most of you probably know why I moved, but for anyone who doesn't, I was really experiencing a ton of health struggles that were just getting worse over time, and they were significantly impacting the quality of my life to the point where I couldn't really function, I couldn't really do my job, and the few days before I left I was like bedridden with these symptoms that I had. I'll link a video down below about that whole story and phase and everything of my life. That was a really hard move for me because when I first touched down in Hawaii, gosh, three or more years ago at this point, I just felt home. As soon as I stepped off the plane, it just felt right, and that feeling has never left. There have been a few times that I've gone back and visited the Big Island, which is where I lived, and I get that same feeling every time I step off the plane, and it's home to me. So having to leave what felt like home, even though I know home is carried within me, but out of all of the places I've traveled in the world and visited, that feels so aligned. And I have so many friends there, such a beautiful community. So that was a hard part of this year, was leaving Hawaii and leaving my friends and community and all of the things that I didn't really foresee myself leaving. So the next thing is health struggles. This has been a very not healthy year for me. I also broke up with my boyfriend, who I was living with, basically inseparable with, for 4.5 years, and we parted ways this summer. And that was a massive shift. When somebody is so integrated in your life and you're so integrated in their life, especially when you both work from home, it's like we were best friends for so long, and we parted ways, and it was for sure for the better for both of us. A lot of you guys are asking how Addison is doing. He's doing all right, and we are still in contact on occasion, and I'm doing okay too. I'm doing better. But yeah, I hadn't really experienced a breakup in quite a long time before that. So that was a big shift. I also welcomed a puppy into my life this year. He's actually behind me right now, sleeping. He's sleeping. His name is Silo, and he's such a joy in my life. Yeah, I'm head over heels in love with him and try to give him the best life ever, and I'm so glad that I welcomed him into my life. Another thing that took place this year is that I lived alone for a period of time. For a handful of months, I lived alone, just me and Silo, and it felt really good to navigate life on my own and kind of like rebuild my foundation as an individual after parting ways with Addison. And living alone was something that I had always kind of wanted and felt like I needed. Just a little period of time where I lived alone and just kind of navigated life, just me. And yeah, I feel like I really fulfilled that this year. Another thing is that the new Raw Alignment website was totally revamped, redone, and relaunched just this past fall. And that feels like probably my favorite project of this past year was getting the website redone. And I'm so blessed to have worked with such an incredible team. They're called Influex, and it was just like such an incredible experience to work with this team who just knew exactly what they were doing. They were so heart-centered, and for anyone who has not seen the new Raw Alignment website, I feel like it is spot on, like the perfect representation of Raw Alignment. So I would love for you to check it out. I'll link it in the video description. What else? I moved to Boulder. I moved from one part of Colorado to another part of Colorado just, I think, about a month ago at this point. And it's actually snowing like crazy outside right now. You probably can't see, it's just all white out there. But I love Boulder, and it has felt like such a powerful, really like supportive move from being on my own, like kind of in the outskirts of Denver, to being more in like a sanctuary feel of a home. And yeah, there's trails nearby, and I live with my best friends, two of my best friends, and yeah, it feels really fun to live here. The house is divided, so I still feel like I have my own little dwelling. They call it my lair. And yeah, so I moved to Boulder, and that was definitely a positive experience of this year. All right, the next thing that has been kind of actually ongoing for a couple of years now, but it has picked up quite a bit of speed in the past few months, is that I have dealt with a absurd amount of online harassment, and it's been really interesting to navigate. I think that being such like an open-minded and caring person that I am, I just kind of like turned my head away from it and was like, I feel for the individuals who are putting out videos about me and messages about me and kind of just trying to stir the pot, for lack of other words. I feel bad that they're spending their time and energy doing the things that they're doing. But yeah, it's definitely impacted me a little bit. It's just been a bummer to see that exists in the world, and especially with my main message and my main focus and my main intention, and what I feel is my main gift to give to the world is to just help everybody rise up and align with their unique gifts and stand in their power and add value to the world, like add positive value, create a positive ripple effect in the world, create an abundant, beautiful, like fulfilling life for themselves. So it's hard for me to know that there is a lot of people out there. There are a lot of people out there who are just not really close to making that happen and not trying to make that happen, not being progressive towards that. So yeah. Throughout this past year, I have also really enhanced my like natural pivoting to gratitude when I'm really, really struggling. I have, I guess, created it to be more like second nature, to just shift to gratitude when I'm feeling like I want to complain about something, or I'm suffering, or I'm in pain, or I'm uncomfortable, or I'm going through some shit. I have been focusing on gratitude and shifting my focus, and that has been massive. That has literally carried me through this year, along with some other things I'll touch on in a bit. But gratitude is so important. Like, it can be for anything tiny. Like, I'm just so grateful I have clothes on my body right now to keep me warm in this cold weather. Like, anything small. I'm so grateful that there's clean air in this home and outside this home, and I'm not in a polluted area. Like, anything. It has just been so massive for me. I also hosted 5 retreats this year, 3 like kind of standard size retreats, and then I tried out some private retreats in my home that I used to live in Hawaii. There were just a few people at each one, so those were private retreats, but I don't even know, like, I look back and think like how I have felt this whole year, which is just like so disconnected and like not healthy, not vibrant, and not clear-minded. And I still managed to put on 5 retreats, so yeah, that is, I look back and I'm just like, that is insane and that is incredible. I also managed to maintain my habit of weightlifting. Yes, there were definitely ebbs and flows, times when I would travel and I wouldn't make myself have access to a gym. I wouldn't prioritize that, but as a whole, I've really prioritized weightlifting. Just the beginning of this year, I had picked weightlifting back up because I wasn't weightlifting at all when I was on the Appalachian Trail, and then I didn't for like a few months after that, and I had lost so much strength. Like, I was a very weak, small, little human, and I've gained a lot of muscle back this year, and I feel really strong and really fit and really good in my physical body in that way. And the last thing that I wrote, just a little note, is that I've actually enhanced my hydration intake this year, which I am so proud of, because anyone who has been tuning in to Raw Alignment and my journey for a couple of years, you know that that has probably been one of my biggest weaknesses in regards to holistic health, is that I have had a hard time drinking water. My battery died, but I am back, and I think I was talking about water and how I have been drinking way more water in this past year. I've been using a Kangen water machine. For those of you who don't know, a Kangen water machine basically restructures the water atomically, and it also changes the pH of the water, so it makes it more alkaline, but it's alkalized water, and it's really beneficial for your well-being, and the water tastes better too. But a lot of hospitals in Japan actually use the Kangen machines because they really help their patients heal in many ways. And yeah, for me, like, I just noticed the flavor, like the taste of the water, rather, like the aftertaste, it just tastes different, like more hydrating than bottled water and tap water, which is filled with a lot of crap. So yeah, I've been staying way more hydrated. So those are all of the things that I took note of, just kind of like a general little overview of my life. Those are the things that stood out to me, and so much has happened. I have met so many beautiful people this year, and traveled and had incredible experiences. But I wanted to share with you some overall themes that I have experienced this past year. The first is lack of connection. Not necessarily lack of connection to other humans, but more so like lack of connection to source, to God, to universal energy, to my creativity. Like, I have just felt blocked. A lot of it being like around my head, because I've been dealing with headaches and brain fog and stuff like that. And that has led me to kind of not be able to connect as deeply with you, not be able to really speak as clearly, articulate myself. When I was dealing with all of my health things in the beginning of the year, I really lost my ability to articulate myself as clearly as I used to, and as I'm finally gaining back. And to follow up burnout, surrendering has also been a massive theme for me. With all of the health things going on and just business things and life things, I've just actually surrendered this year, and I feel like I've always been like a pusher. It sounds like a weird word, but I've always been someone to just like keep going, even when like things are hard. Like, yes, I'm still persevering, but there have been times where I'm just like, I am just going to surrender and trust. And finding balance has followed my surrender, because pushing very hard, just like pushing harder to kind of ignore all of the struggles doesn't work. It's not sustainable. So being an Aries, a very driven person, intrinsically motivated for my entire life, it's been really hard for me to find balance. And this year feels like the year where I actually made some actual headway with that. My last theme of the year is healing, because I'm finally healing, and the end of this year I have received significant clarity and relief of symptoms, and I'm doing so much better in my health, in my mind specifically. I've been doing a lot of things, like a lot of hacks to help my brain heal, and so that was the last of my themes. And I want to share some of the main things that I am so grateful for this past year. The first is support from my loved ones, my friends in Hawaii, and my friends that I'm living with now, and Addison, and my family, and anybody who knows me on a very personal level, who has just been so patient with me throughout all of the craziness that has happened this past year. I am so grateful for all that have stuck around and just supported me from a distance, supported me in so many ways. And I am also so infinitely thankful for you, for all of you who have sent me so many messages letting me know that you're here through it all. Like, it means the world to me to know that you're not just gonna up and leave because I have a hard year, or I have a hard month, or a hard week, or a hard experience, that you're here and you support me. And I think that over the past years, just to be fully transparent, one of my biggest like fears or worries is that when I'm not feeling my best, I am not adding as much value to your life. I'm not as motivating, not as empowering, not as insightful, whatever. Like, I'm just not there enough as much as I want to be. I guess honestly, I just said it by accident, that I'm not enough. I worry that through this past year, I have not been enough for you. And so to receive your messages that you're still here and seeing that you're still here, it means everything to me. So thank you so much to anyone who messaged, who commented, or anyone who just supported me in silence. Thank you so much. I am also so thankful to have been able to travel so much this year, and to have that freedom that when I'm having a hard day, I can take it easy and I don't have to push myself in a 9-to-5 job at an office or working something that's really stressful. I'm so grateful for all of this that I've cultivated for myself over the past 4 or 5 years. It has been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work behind the scenes, and I'm so grateful for all of it. I'm so grateful to be in the position I'm in and be able to just continue growing and rest when I need rest. I'm also so thankful for the Raw Alignment team. I think I shared with you in the very, very beginning that I joined the mastermind group this year, and that has been so helpful in helping me create a team, like establishing a core sweet little team. Everyone is just like so unique and special and talented and communicates clearly, and I just am so grateful for the Raw Alignment team. And I actually hosted the first ever Raw Alignment team weekend this past fall, and I brought them into my home, and I made these little gifts for them, and we had a lot of self-care activities that we went through, and also a lot of team building and business building activities, getting clear on our vision for 2019. And if you would like to know more about the Raw Alignment team, there is a page on the new website where you can see each person on the team and what they do for the team. So check that out if you're interested in like the business side. I'm so grateful for the light at the end of the tunnel. This whole year I have just felt like this is not the end, this is not forever, this is not my new reality, like this is temporary pain, this is temporary symptoms, temporary suffering, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's funny because my ring light is like literally blinding me right now. I feel like this is the light at the end, but I finally feel like I'm within reach of that light. As I said, I'm feeling better towards the end of this year, and I just feel like 2019 is going to be entirely, vastly different. I know that there are so many people, so many friends that I have that they have said too that this is the hardest year of their life, or at least one of the hardest years of their lives. And I just feel like there is a collective shift happening, and this upcoming year is going to be so different. And I also am so thankful for my doctor who I've been working with, who is so extensive and thorough and like so smart. And I can like text her whenever like something comes up, or like I'm feeling some symptom. I like text her and she just tells me what to do immediately, and I do it, and it helps me. It provides relief immediately, and I'm so thankful for her ongoing support and her expertise in this area. And I'm thankful for my little Silo. You sleepy? You sleepy? The love of my life. So I want to talk briefly on how I am wrapping up this year. And I think that it's really, really, really important. This has always been such a prominent part of the New Year's time for me since I was younger. I remember like in high school, maybe even earlier than that, always setting intentions, like always reflecting on the past a little bit, kind of finding closure with it, and then setting intentions and goals and like really breaking it down. I attribute a lot of my, I guess you could say, like rapid acceleration and growth to that practice, is to being so crystal clear on what I want moving forward and what you want moving forward. And so to wrap up this past year, the biggest thing that I have been thinking of over the past few days as this year is coming to an end is just how grateful I am for all of the experiences, and knowing that all of the hard times have taught me so much. And it's not just like I consider it like a shit year. I consider it a really hard year, but also the year where I probably learned the most I have out of all of the years of my life. So I express gratitude for that, and thanks and appreciation to attracting all of these things into my life that were really hard to deal with, but also that taught me so much and have allowed me to grow into a stronger, more wise individual. You know, I made a lot of mistakes this year, and I've made public mistakes involving this little nugget, and I'm sure there are other public mistakes or whatever, but I just think like, what have I learned from this? What have I learned from each individual hard time, and what have I learned from this year as a whole? And so I shine love and spread love to this past year that has been really hard. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. But yeah, I would say that's one of the ways that I kind of find closure, is just not seeing it as like a bad year and letting it linger on into the rest of my life. But like, the past is in the past. We're here now. Let's carry on. And I also went through this little activity with a few friends last night, so the 30th of December, and we wrote all of the things down that we wanted to leave in 2018, and we shared them with each other, and then we burned the paper that had all of those things, and it felt so good to just watch each of those things that we had written down just like completely burn into nothing, and they were gone. And so that was really powerful and helpful for me to really just wrap it up one little step farther. And for all that's to come in 2019, I'm not going to go through all of my intentions and goals with you. Maybe in a future video, let me know if you would like to see that, and if you would like to see my exact process and how I do that and how I've done that for years and years and years. But what I want to just share with you is how important it is to set intentions. It doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. Like, you can call it whatever you want, but the biggest thing is that it's so important to know what you want in life. It is so important to know what type of relationships you want. Know what optimal health looks like to you. What does financial freedom look like to you? What does your ideal home look like to you? Like, what is your ideal career, your hobbies, like your ideal physique? How do you feel in your body? Like, what is ideal to you? What is optimal? What is abundant to you? And get so crystal clear, because if you're not clear on what you want, how the heck are you going to make it happen? So I leave you with that in hopes to just plant a seed, in hopes that you, if you're watching this video right now, will set some intentions, some very, very detailed intentions that challenge you and stretch you and help you grow. I think that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you to everybody who has been here supporting throughout this past year. I hope that you equally feel supported by me and by our community, which is constantly growing. I also want to just say how beautiful it is that I think I did a poll on Instagram a few months ago, and I said, who has been here since the very beginning? And 85% of you said you've been here since the beginning. So I just want to kind of speak to that for a second and say, how freaking cool is it that we're all growing together? Like, we're all growing through life together, experiencing life together, and leveling up. And there's a lot of leveling up that is coming in 2019. I'm not going to go into it all now, but I will soon. I love you.
We got to go, it's time to grow. Through obstacles, round and around we go. Don't even worry about it, don't get so downhearted. Life is sunny and cloudy, round and around.